Hey guys, it's Shannon. So if you haven't seen it yet, I did a coffee bar tour, and in the coffee bar, or over it, in between the lights, is a coffee bar sign. It's original design by me, and it is also available in my Etsy shop if you're interested in that. But I am converting the coffee bar from a regular, beautiful, industrial style coffee bar into one for the fall season. So I wanted to create a wood sign to go over the coffee bar that will be cute for the holidays. So let me show you how I'm going to create this fall wood sign. So to get started with this project, I'm going to be cutting down a 1x6 down to 22 inches long, and then I'll be framing it out in 1x2 furring strips.
Now I'm going to be using my compound miter saw for this. However, if you do not have a big tool like this, you can also use a hand miter box, which is very affordable and you can find them so many different places. Once the 1x6 was cut down, it was time to measure and cut the frame. I get asked a lot what type of wood I use, and I just used pine, or it's also called common board. It's very affordable, and I usually get mine from Home Depot. This is one of those projects that you have to measure and then cut and measure cut. That way you for sure know that all of your pieces are going to fit together nicely.
So for these framed wood signs, I always measure the width of the board and do my end pieces first. And then once those two end pieces are cut, I measure the entire length. So from the outside edges all the way down, and then cut my side pieces here. That way they go all the way to the edge, and then there's no gaps. Like this, and like so. Now, if for some reason your pieces are off a little bit, whether they're too big or too small, you can adjust from there, but it's always a good idea to sort of dry fit these to make sure they are the perfect size before you start progressing with your sign.
I'm using 80 grit sandpaper here on my orbital sander. Once everything was sanded down, I used the color Jacobine Wood Stain by Minwax and stained all of the frame pieces. The 1x6 got a coat of white chalk paint. I'm using Waverly's chalk paint in the color white. After the stain had time to cure and the paint had dried, I used my brad nailer and 1 1/4 inch brad nails to put all the pieces together. First, I attached the two smaller end pieces and then attached the longer top and bottom pieces. Next, it was time to apply the stencil. I created this design on my Silhouette Studio, and I'm using Oramask 813 for the stencil material. Before I add paint, I like to use Mod Podge on my painted wood signs to seal down the stencil, and it helps prevent paint bleeds. So it's just a clear coat that just seals down the edges of your stencil. You won't see it, and you want to do a very thin coat of this so that your paint doesn't peel up when you remove the stencil. After the Mod Podge dries completely, I would say at least 15 minutes, then you can start painting. I'm using Waverly's chalk paint in the color Ink here for this design, and I'm just going up and down in a tapping motion to help prevent paint bleeds. I gave this wood sign a little pop of color, painting the pumpkin orange. I always give my wood signs 2 coats of paint, and I always let it dry in between coats completely, which doesn't take long with chalk paint, maybe 10 minutes or so. Once your chalk paint has completely dried, you can remove the stencil. As you can see, it doesn't all come off in one piece. You kind of have to use your weeding tool and pick out all of those little pieces and the insides of those letters. And here's a look at the completed sign above the coffee bar. Please subscribe. I will soon be doing a decorate with me to completely transform the coffee bar into one that has a more fun fall look. So let me know where you would place this in your home. Obviously mine will be above the coffee bar, but where would you put this in your home? I hope that this video inspired you. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps me keep bringing you DIY tutorials. You can also follow me on social media, both Facebook and Instagram, and I will have those linked down below. Thank you all so much for watching. You can see another great DIY tutorial here, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.